Hello and welcome to Crypto Invest TV. I'm your host, X8, and let's get into it. So, I'm just going to go ahead and start off our day with going ahead and checking out just a couple of things here so we can go ahead and look at the total market cap. We can see that we're actually, seeing a fairly decent uptrend right here. Here, let's see if I can nope. There we go. So you can see we're definitely on an uptrend when it comes to the total market cap, excluding Bitcoin. You can see that we're still, it's still on an uptrend. And then here's the total uh, Bitcoin dominance. So Bitcoin dominance is currently sitting at about 46%. Ethereum's at 17%. But what's interesting is that Dogecoin is sitting at almost 2%, which is higher than it's been previously. Um, we can see that on May 30th we were at 2.5%. But what I'm saying is that if we go past earlier on this year, we can see that Dogecoin didn't actually have basically any percentage for the majority of the time. If we go through, if we go back, you can see that for the majority of the time, it obviously doesn't. But now we're seeing that it's sitting at, looks like here it tried to, let's see, this was on the 23rd of May. It was at almost 3% dominance to Bitcoin, which is insane when you think about what Dogecoin is, and when you think about where it's come in comparison to a lot of other cryptocurrencies that we had at the beginning of I guess the creation of altcoins. But that was something I just wanted to touch on. But we'll go ahead and we'll start moving into our first topics of the day. So this is about mini mining. Says this $875 crypto mining rig went viral on TikTok, but it's not very lucrative. So scroll down. It says that Adan Abada, I'm sure I'm still botching up their name, posted a video of himself using free Subway, or not Subway, Starbucks electricity to run his $875 mini Bitcoin mining rig. This got 2.6 million views and counting. Says that Adan in his on is on a mission to democratize Bitcoin mining. As far as he's concerned, minting new coins isn't just for the pros. His message appears to be resonating with the masses. Abada, who lives in San Fernando Valley, Los Angeles, posted a video of himself using the Starbucks electricity to run an $875 mini Bitcoin rig. The rig looks a whole lot different than a warehouse packed with rows of whirling ASICs, an image which has come to be synonymous with crypto mining. Instead, Abada's miner is relatively simple. It consists of a multi-port USB hub, a mounted mini fan, and 10 USB sticks, each containing 2 Bitmain manufactured ASIC mining chips. It's one of the easiest miners to set up and run because all you need is a computer or laptop. He explained it's powered by a USB, and that's pretty much it. Everyone can become a miner and be a part of the crypto mining world. He goes on, he started mining Bitcoin in his room in a shared house in 2015, where he agreed to pay his room with his roommates to pay extra for electricity. In 2017, he opened his own shop. I noticed it was really hard to buy equipment for mining Bitcoin, so I created bitcoinmerch.com, he said. At first, it was just me selling some cables and some very basic equipment. The company now offers customers all the hardware you need to get into mining. Research firm Technavio expects all over market for global crypto mining hardware to grow by 2.8 billion from 2020 to 2024. He goes on to say his business has grown exponentially and is in exponentially in the last 4 years as interest in crypto has ballooned. Goes on to say that Bitcoin merch sales have hit 428,000 so far this year, 355% up from 2020. One of the top sellers on Bitcoin merch is the new pack, the main component of the rig featured in the viral TikTok video. We've sold thousands, and we get more, and they run out quick. Goes on to say that Missouri-based Gecko Science took apart a big miner from China and repurposed the small parts for the new pack. Each of the mini USB rigs has two ASIC chips. Also, so in all, it's an 875 rig and it has 20 chips. However, even though this is a consumer grade rig where the parts are harvested from Chinese miners, he says the two are still fundamentally different. For one, his budget rig is a lot quieter than the industrial grade Bitcoin miners. It's not loud, so you can run it next to your desk, which is a huge benefit. With industrial miners, you need a warehouse, you need power lines, you need cooling systems, you need the whole shebang. If you run one of these out of your house, it's going to be loud and you won't be able to sleep in that house anymore. But this rig is a lot less powerful, so a lot less sound generated because there doesn't need to be as much cooling. Two important factors when determining the output of a rig is how much power it consumes and how much hash power it produces. Hashing power or hash rate is an industry term used to quantify the amount of computing power a rig contributes to the overall Bitcoin network. The downside is that using this rig is a very low hash rate. This means that the machine will trend towards producing less Bitcoin than competing rigs. These USB miners tend to be much less energy efficient in comparison to a traditional ASIC. In the end, it's not worth it. It's cool, but it doesn't actually make money. It's actually hard to make a profit unless you're going to have free energy. He goes on to say roughly every 10 minutes, 6.25 Bitcoin are created. In order to mint these new tokens, a global pool of miners are contributing their computing power to running a hashing algorithm known as the SHA-256, otherwise known as the SHA-256. The exact same code runs on every single Bitcoin mining rig on the planet, including the ones featured on the Starbucks TikTok video. But these miners aren't running the SHA-256 algorithm in a vacuum. They are competing against each other to see who can unlock each batch of new Bitcoin first. essentially this is why we have mining pools and things like that. That's what it's going to go on to say. It says that he made about $9.39 in a month. But since he lives in Los Angeles, where electricity is 22 cents per kilowatt, running his rig 24 hours a day, it costs him $15.84 in total electricity. So he's roughly down by $5.88 per month. Um, and that's in California. Like for instance, over here, I live in Texas, and my current rate is I think like 8 cents per kilowatt hour. So you know, when electricity is a lot cheaper in certain areas, that helps benefit towards towards making mining a lot more lucrative. Um, but essentially, it says that it's kind of more of a novelty item, and so essentially people shouldn't be looking at this as a way necessarily of making money, but it is something that is fairly neat. And if you would like to, I guess earn a little Bitcoin for fun, or to show off to your friends, or who knows, maybe you're at work and you'll just kind of just plug it into your work computer every day, 8 hours a day, and then whenever you're done for your shift, you just go home and you just leave it there and hope nothing happens to it. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty interesting. $875 for a rig. I mean, that's not necessarily too bad. I mean, it's essentially going to end up costing you about $1,000 to make $10 a month in Bitcoin, and that's before the next halving event and things like that, and that's including if the algorithm doesn't increasingly get more difficult. But we'll move on into our next topic, which some of you might find to be more interesting, which is Senator Elizabeth Warren says crypto could solve big banks' enormous failure to not serve millions of low-income Americans. It says that Elizabeth Warren, a vocal advocate for more regulation of the nascent cryptocurrencies, said Wednesday digital currencies, and particularly those issued by central banks, could help introduce the millions of low-income Americans who've gone long without bank accounts to the broader U.S. financial system, seemingly signaling support for cryptocurrency offering that's picking up steam in Washington. Speaking to CNBC's Squawk Box, Warren, who sits on the Senate's Banking and Finance Committees, said cryptocurrencies and central bank digital currencies, otherwise known as CBDCs, may be the answer to the enormous failure by big banks to reach consumers. Warren said cryptocurrencies have extremely low transactions costs, could make it a viable means of exchange for 15 million Americans who, according to the Federal Reserve, don't have a bank account and must therefore pay intermediaries when they get their checks cashed or when they go to pay their bills. Warren emphasized her concern about cryptocurrencies center on bad actors and not the space itself, saying a wholly unintegrated market has allowed big guys to take advantage of small investors and taxpayers, a jab at the market's outsized retail interest, and unprecedented volatility. Unprecedented? I don't think it's necessarily unprecedented. We had like what, a 45% drop or something like that from the all-time highs. That's not necessarily unprecedented for cryptocurrency, but I mean, this is kind of where it comes down to, you know, people not necessarily wholly knowing about the cryptocurrency space, because as you can see, essentially from what I can tell is that Warren essentially is completely flipped from what we were talking about 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago when we were talking about all the FUD that was going around, Warren was saying that we need more regulation. She wasn't basically, I don't recall her saying anything about how it would be good for the how it would be good for the for the low income citizens. And now all of a sudden she's like, oh, well, I think the cryptocurrency market and CBDCs will heavily benefit the low income you know consumers. And you've noticed how there's been this transition from FUD to these, I guess, like these hopium articles. But honestly, when it comes to this, I feel like realistically, when she says cryptocurrencies and CBDCs, realistically she's more or less talking about CBDC. She's talking about people having just like digital currency banking, and it's all just done through their phone, and they don't have to go into the banks and all that, and this, that, and another. And it's just like, realistically, I mean, they don't have, no one has to wait on the CBDCs. And I think that's the whole reason why she throws in cryptocurrencies, is because she doesn't want to, she wants to make sure that she covers her bases, because technically you can already do that with cryptocurrencies as is. It's a little bit more difficult when it comes to the whole, not having a bank thing, but there are ways to do it. I can say that much. Um, but yeah, it's just pretty interesting that we're seeing what seems to be like a pretty hard flip. Um, Crypto exchange Binance says it will step up its compliance efforts, including data sharing with regulators and a tax tracking tool. Crypto platform Binance is pushed ahead with its efforts to improve the compliance around its trading activities, and announced on Tuesday some of those measures will include launching a tax reporting tool and some data sharing with regulators. The tax reporting tool will track cryptocurrency activities on the Binance platform and the exchange by volume to ensure users meet their legal obligations. Among other things, tools will allow them to move their Binance history to third-party tax vendors to get an overview of their local liabilities, the company said. This move is part of Binance's wider strategy to be cooperative with regulators after the company came under fire from the likes of the UK, Canada, Japan, Thailand, Italy, and the Cayman Islands. The fact is that many countries around the world, crypto regulations are still evolving, and we are all discovering the right path for this promising and young and exciting industry. Says the co-founder and CEO of Binance in a press release email. We are working hard not only to align with evolving regulatory standards, but to also provide a better experience for our users, from updating safeguards to introducing new products like our tax reporting tools. The privacy that the decentralized nature of cryptocurrencies has offered users has always been a strong selling point for traders and investors, but it's the very thing that regulators have said can facilitate online crimes such as money laundering or other forms of fraud. Binance is under investigation by the U.S. Department of Justice as part of a wider effort to deal with money laundering and tax-related offenses. Part of the company's plans to work more closely with regulators on compliance issues will be sharing some of its users' data, according to Binance's legal head Hong Xiang. Uh, we will be supporting the sharing of user data as long as it's supported by the appropriate legal process, of course, so that we are not breaching any of the laws, but we will be cooperating with regulators on that basis, he said in a Tuesday press conference. So hopefully, when it comes to them saying, they're going to be following all the legal processes with their data sharing, I mean, in reality, I mean, this is, regulators essentially looking at, looking at potentially businesses and individuals, wallet transactions and so on and so forth. Which I mean will start to kind of take away from the anonymity of cryptocurrencies, which can be problematic coming down the road. In the event that there's some kind of heavy taxation or heavy types of regulation that really end up hindering cryptocurrency technology. But moving forward, India is to use Ethereum blockchain to verify diploma certificates. A new partnership with Legit Doc places India among the early adopters to implement an e-governance system for higher education. The government of Maharashtra recently announced a partnership with Indian blockchain startup LegitDoc to implement the credentialing system powered by Ethereum to provide tamper-proof diploma certificates. To counter the rise in document forgery, the Maharashtra State Board of Skill Development (MSBSD) opposes India's crypto ban narrative of using Ethereum-based public blockchains. In an exclusive statement to Telegraph, LegitDoc CEO Neil Martis highlighted that while the certificates are verified using traditional manual methods, MSBSD will start advocating only the digital verification method for all manual verification requests starting next year, showcasing interest from other local government authorities. Mattis added. We have an active work order from the government of Karnataka. Oh man, I'm sorry, everyone. We are in talks with the governments of Telangana and the higher technical education department of the Maharashtra to implement Legit Doc for the student community. Mainstream institutions such as the National Institute of Technology and Ashoka University are in talks to implement a similar solution for countering the ongoing forgery of documents. The partnership with Legit Docs places India among the early adopters to implement e-governance with the education with Massachusetts Institute of Technologies, Mala, and Singapore. Citing blockchain's capabilities in curbing fraud related to document forgery. Not going to say his name. In the past 10 years, there has been a rampant increase in forgery of government-issued documents, which have caused huge financial and reputational losses to the stakeholders involved. So, I mean, yeah, I think that that's pretty interesting that, over in India, they're essentially going to use they're going to use this upcoming company called Legit Doc, and they're going to, they're going to use the Ethereum blockchain smart contract technology to, essentially, I guess create essentially a non-fungible token. So some diploma certificate NFTs that will be essentially more verifiable than the physical documentation that they have going on right now. So I think that that could be a really good thing for the educational system, and who knows? I mean, this could end up being a good thing for the educational system down the road. This could end up being kind of like, I guess you would say, like the start of where school districts and countries start to adopt at least Ethereum smart contract technology to ensure that there's no fraud when it comes to the legal documentation of higher learning. whether it's just for like you know, I guess like the high school diploma or even a college diploma. I think it could be good for either. Moving on into something that's a little bit more homebound for us here at Crypto Invest, Dallas Symphony Orchestra releases classical music NFTs on Rarible. Opening bid for the NFT featuring the video of an emotional musical concert held in May will be up for $50,000. The Dallas Symphony Orchestra created a non-fungible token that is offering on the NFT marketplace of Rarible. The orchestra has released NFTs which celebrate the historical musical event that took place at the Morton H. Meyerson Symphony Center in Dallas in May 2021. The NFT captures the Dallas Symphony Orchestra music director Fabio Luisi and Met Orchestra musicians in an emotional performance of Mahler's First Symphony. In the first of the live audience, it marked the first time many non-DSO musicians performed for a live audience since the coronavirus shut down in March of 2020. The bidding for an NFT featuring a video of the full concert, plus behind the scenes footage, and a VIP experience at the 2022 reunion concert will be opened at $50,000. Proceeds raised will go towards the charity to benefit Met Opera Orchestra musicians impacted by COVID-19 pandemic. There will also be 15 NFTs placed at $1,000 featuring a video of the first movement, an interview with Fabio Luisi, and a ticket for the 2022 reunion concert. And I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing their name wrong. Finally, there will be 25 NFTs priced at $100 of an audio of the final movement of Mahler's First Symphony with photos of the musicians and the performances. NFTs are digital assets, representations of a wide range of unique, tangible, and intangible items, from collectible sports cards to virtual real estate and even digital sneakers. So, I mean, that's really cool. I think it's really interesting that the Dallas Symphony Orchestra has decided that they're going to start getting into NFTs and essentially the cryptocurrency market. I think that we're slowly beginning to see the more widespread adoption of cryptocurrency, and this is what we've essentially been talking about for months. If you've been listening to a lot of the larger YouTubes out there, and some of the smaller ones, pretty much across the board, everyone's been saying, that the adoption is going to come irregardless. There is no changing that. It's going to come. We're already there, and we're just waiting on those final pushes. Um, Moving on into something that might be a little bit more exciting for some. XRP hits a 5-week high after launching liquidity service in Japan. XRP has spiked more than 10% after Ripple announced the company's first on-demand liquidity service implementation in Japan. The price of XRP, the native token of the Ripple network, is up more than 10% over the past 24 hours, hitting a 5-week high. XRP has reached 73 cents, a price point not seen since June 20th. XRP is also the biggest gainer among the 100 largest cryptocurrency assets by market capitalization, followed by the exchange of the Haboi's native token, and then Decred. Sorry if I mispronounced that. I'm absolutely sure that I did. The cryptocurrency has, however, slightly backtracked from today's earlier highs at 71 cents per CoinGecko. The token's price got a boost after Ripple, the blockchain company developing XRP-based payment solutions, announced that the launch of RippleNet's first live on-demand liquidity service implementation in Japan. RippleNet is a global network of financial institutions working on making cross-border payments cheaper and faster. With on-demand liquidity, a service that uses XRP as a source of liquidity during transaction, RippleNet customers can use XRP to bridge various currencies in a matter of seconds so that payments are sent to receive are sent and received in local currencies on either side of the transaction. High demand for cheap remittance. To launch the ODL in Japan, Ripple teamed up with SBI Remit, the country's largest money transfer provider and a subsidiary of Ripple's shareholder, SBI Holdings. The project targets remittance payments from Japan to the Philippines and including two more partnerships. Coins PH, a popular mobile wallet for digital currencies in the Philippines, and digital asset exchange platform SBI VC Trade. By launching the ODL in Japan, Ripple addresses the high demand for cheap remittance services for the growing Filipino population. The third largest in the country according to local reports. Last year alone, the remittance flows from Japan to the Philippines sent by Filipino workers totaled approximately 1.8 billion, and that's in just the remittance, said the company. Japan, however, has one of the highest fees for cross-border payments in the world, according to the World Bank. The average cost of sending money from Japan is about 10.5%, or almost twice as much as the average of all G8 countries, 5.92%. RippleNet is currently live in more than 55 countries in 5 regions. In the Philippines, the liquidity service has been available since 2020 when Ripple added local digital money transfer provider Amizo as a RippleNet partner. So this realistically could actually be something really good for Japan, because then this means that more of the money that is being sent to individuals in Japan, that means they're getting a higher percentage of that. And so since they're getting a higher percentage of that, that means that they'll be able to go and spend a fraction more. And when you add that up by the millions, and then you can see how getting 5% more of your total can really start to add up when you have millions of transfers happening per month or per year. So that's pretty much it for all the news articles today. We'll go ahead and we'll hop on to Coin Market Cap. We'll just go over here and we'll just check out the market before we close out the show this evening. We can see that Bitcoin is currently sitting at 39.6, Ethereum is at 22.83, Binance is at $311, XRP currently sitting at 70 cents, and then Dogecoin sitting at 20 cents. And then let's see, Polkadot at $14.46, and Binance US is at of course $1. Those are the top 10. We do know that there was some pretty heavy FUD about Uniswap the other day as they started delisting tokens during this regulation crackdown. We have been seeing some positivity for Dogecoin as well this month. You can see that we finally hit that low of 16 cents again and started climbing back up, currently sitting at, like I said, 20 cents, but we did hit that high of 22, almost 22 and a half cents. So that's pretty decent, I'd say. As for what's going on in the Binance token sector, we can see that, let's see who's the top runners for today. So we can see that Alpaca Finance is up by 65% in the past 24 hours and 137% over the past 7 days. So I don't really know anything about Alpaca Finance. I'm just going off of what it is that I'm seeing over here for them. I guess, what is this, in the last month? So they went from, it looks like a low of 40 cents, up to, it looks like they hit a high of about $1.10. Sorry. But I imagine that they're another DeFi finance solution. Let's see. The other is Spore. Spore is up by 32% for the day and 125% for the past 7 days. We can see that they've had a pretty decent uptick over the past month. You can see they hit a low that, to where they were getting fairly close to to, I guess you'd say, hitting zero, the true zero. So it's, it is good to see that, they're getting a good sized pump. Looks like Unicrypt is up by 26%, and 40% for the week. Mobox is up by 15%, 88% for the week. Clover Finance, it's up by almost 12% for the day. SafePal is up by 7%, 28% for the week. Division Networks up by 4.5%, 10% for the week. Let's go ahead and we'll just check out specifically just the DeFi space. Let's see who are the front runners in the DeFi space. So I do remember this Thorchain. They had a pretty decent pump over the past few days. Honestly, when it comes to a lot of these other protocols, I don't have any knowledge about them. I just wanted to scroll through and just kind of check out. I do know a little bit about Ren. I have a little bit of Ren myself. I've been hearing a lot about Phantom recently, so for anyone that hasn't heard about Phantom, we can go ahead and just check that out real fast. One platform, endless solutions. So it's a speed, security, and scalability. Almost instant transfers, simple and secure, high scalability, Ethereum compatible, a new DeFi experience. This is the all-in-one DeFi suite. Mint, trade, and lend. Lend, and borrow digital assets directly from your wallet with near zero fees and instant transactions. DeFi for everyone. So, if you're kind of wanting to, I guess, get into the DeFi space and maybe you want to start loaning out some crypto, maybe look into Phantom. That might be something that would pique your interest. And let's see how the yield farming is doing. We can see how that's going. So Venus, let's see what they're all about. Venus Money Markets, a decentralized marketplace for lenders and borrowers with borderless stablecoins. Decentralized, BEP20, scalability. Venus enables the world's first decentralized stablecoin, VAI, built on the Binance smart chain that is backed by a basket of stablecoins and crypto assets without centralized control. Earn interest on your assets. Funds held within the protocol can earn APYs based on the market demand for the asset. Interest is earned by the block and can be used as collateral to borrow assets or to mint stablecoins. So that's pretty interesting that that your rewards are earned by the block. I would have to say that that's pretty interesting. So, here's another, decentralized space for lending and borrowing on the DeFi market. Other than that, that's pretty much all that we have for the show this evening. So if you liked what you saw here, go ahead and smash that like button. If you're new to the show, go ahead and hit subscribe. It will really help us out. And if you want to make money like us in the crypto space and always stay up to date with the latest crypto news, you'll want to make sure to always have the bell notification set to all so that way you don't miss any of it. Other than that, everyone have a great night, and we'll see you next time. Crypto Invest is out.